You know, it's really odd. We made almost this exact same video a year ago, talking about another Red Wings defenseman prospect who had rejected to represent his team internationally instead of at the Olympics at the World Juniors. This video a year ago, Moritz Seider refuses to go to Team Germany, was from last year, and now we're making a similar video about another Red Wings prospect today, not for Team Germany but for Team Sweden instead, and not for the World Juniors but for the Olympics instead. Let's talk today about Red Wings prospect Simon Edvinsson and give an update as to his entire profile, what he's been doing this season, and how the big Red Wings left-handed defenseman prospect has been faring. So, if you have been living under a rock right here, Simon Edvinsson is probably the top defense prospect in the Red Wings system today, and the only reason he kind of is that is because Seider recently graduated. Yeah, he's kind of on the team now, he's kind of doing his thing, he's kind of doing pretty alright. So that makes the prospect pool a little bit less beefy, but Simon Edvinsson is indeed here carrying the load. 18 years old, 6'5", 207. He's a left-handed guy as opposed to Seider's right-handed frame, also being a pretty big player on the ice. Edvinsson was drafted 6th overall by the Red Wings in the most recent 2021 NHL Entry Draft, and if you want the scouting report as to how this guy plays, Elite Prospects has your back. He is a detailed defender with high-level in-zone instincts, a tight neutral zone gap, well-timed physicality and supporting instincts to match. He maneuvers with the puck kept in his hip pocket, with his top hand in control, free from his body, with a smooth and gracious skating stride scaffolded on top of those mechanical handling skills. Edvinsson's tools sometimes take him to rarefied air as a puck carrier. Wow, talk about the articulate English in that scouting report over there. Edvinsson is a smooth-skating, two-way defenseman. His shutdown abilities are very, very good, and his offense definitely is not bad either. This season in the SHL for Frolunda, he has himself 12 points in 25 games played, which, oddly enough, is almost the same point production that Lucas Raymond had last year when Raymond also suited up for Frolunda in the same league. So, yeah, if you want to go ahead and take a look at some statistical comparables, there's one on the Red Wings right away who is doing very, very well. However, our video on Edvinsson today, while focusing a little bit on what he has done so far, is going to be focusing more on what he is not doing and what he has rejected according to this website here, svt.se. This is the article we're going to be taking a look at right here. Simon Edvinsson Nobar OS. And, you know, this is a Swedish article, so we're going to go ahead and translate this into English. And this is kind of where things get weird, because the translation on Google isn't really the best, I would think. It says Simon Edvinsson wins the Olympics, but, you know, the Olympics haven't happened yet. Simon Edvinsson, as a guy who is obviously Swedish, is not really in the winner's column for anything. Before we go over this article, though, and we actually read what they have to say about Edvinsson, we gotta give a big word to the sponsor of today's video. I get it, it's a new year, new you. How about going with resolutions you can actually keep this year? Well, Manscaped is here to help out, and it all starts with their below-the-waist grooming and hygiene products. Join 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get in on the action. Use code LEGOROCKS for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com, as this year, the Performance Package 4.0 will take you to the next level. Inside the Performance Package 4.0, you'll find the signature Lawnmower 4.0, the best electric trimmer on the market with advanced skin-safe technology. Your routine, though, is not complete without the Crop Preserver and the Crop Reviver, not to mention the ear and nose hair trimmer, travel bag, and anti-chafing boxer briefs, all combined with the brand new Ultra Premium Body Wash. It's cologne infused with aloe vera and sea salt to keep your skin feeling clean, nice, and moisturized. Be sure to travel to manscaped.com and use code LEGOROCKS for 20% off and free shipping. That's code LEGOROCKS for 20% off and free shipping. Cheers to 2022, and cheers to Manscaped. So, despite the fact that the article is titled Simon Edvinsson wins the Olympics, if you roughly translate it from Swedish into English, when you actually read the top few paragraphs over here, it kind of gives you a better idea as to what this article is really saying. Now, I'm not going to read this word for word. I'll try to read it as best as I can, with a few added words in there to make things flow a little bit better in English. Simon Edvinsson, super promising defender, 18 years old, says no to the Olympics. According to information from SVT Sports, which is the website we're looking at right here, the Hill, not the Hill, the defenseman. For some reason it says the Hill. The Hill, or the defenseman, is included on the shortlist, but he has already decided not to go, even if he is selected on Friday. He says this: "I want to focus on Frolunda and a JVM this summer." I don't know what that means. Somebody's going to have to educate me. What the heck is a JVM? He says exclusively to SVT Sports. Oh wait, actually I just googled it. JVM refers to junior hockey, so I guess they're talking about tournaments, World Junior stuff, other things going on. So pretty much Edvinsson is rejecting the Olympic Games. Why is that right here? I mean, he's a pretty good defenseman, even with the numbers and the skills that he has. He honestly probably could make the Olympic team, especially with no NHLers going this year. Why is that? Edvinsson has taken the SHL by storm, and on a pair with Christian Folin, he has established himself as one of the entire league's best defenders. There you go, see right there, I just said that. He is only 18 years old, and the defenseman with definitely the greatest potential in the league was chosen as number 6 on this year's summer draft by Detroit, and was the draft's highest-ranked Swede. The Frolunda player refers to, among many things, the tough quarantine rules. There are also many indications that there will be a JVM this summer as well. So, a junior tournament that Edvinsson would likely want to suit up for, and there Simon feels that he has unresolved business. That's a bit wide too. It gets too flashy if I have to play at the Olympics. Edvinsson recently returned from a beer bug infection and started contributing to everyday life for Frolunda. The article has a question they asked to Edvinsson now. "You haven't been influenced in this decision by your coach, Roger Ronberg, who has been, to say the least, negative about releasing players to the Swedish team during the Olympics?" "Not affected at all," he says. "Everyone has to make their own decisions. For me, the Swedish Championship Gold and Frolunda are a priority right now. Swedish Championship, the World Junior version of the Gold. Then I understand for other players, like for example my friend Christian Folin wants to drive. This may be his last chance. Everyone makes their own decisions and people respect it." Edvinsson had just returned from being sick, and he made his first SHL match tonight after the absence and after the World Junior debacle. It's fun to be back, but the body feels heavier, and you work it up now. So, there you go. Detroit Red Wings prospect Simon Edvinsson has rejected the idea of going to the Olympics, mostly because he wants to focus on his own team, the Frolunda Hockey Club in the SHL, as well as put a bigger focus on international tournaments at the junior level. So, there's speculation in this article that there will be some sort of a tournament that Edvinsson will go to in the summer, whether that's the World Juniors getting rescheduled or something else of that nature. There indeed is that insinuated idea that Edvinsson would want to focus on that more, also focus on his season in the SHL more, and he's a little bit cautious about the quarantines because he did say that's sort of part of the reason why he doesn't want to go either. And that's fair, you know, we had ourselves so many other, not even just NHLers in general, but Swedish NHLers go out there and say, okay, no, if that's the quarantine situation in China, where if you test positive, you can stay there and you have to be isolated there for upwards of 5 weeks, like, I think it was Erik Karlsson, who right away said, yeah, no, if that's the case, I'm not going. And then we had ourselves, of course, Robin Lehner. He said he didn't want to go. And then I think it was Victor Hedman who was more enthusiastic about going, but who also said, yeah, there's a lot of concerns about the quarantine and that there would need to be bigger discussions going on about that before they make their decisions to go. Obviously, it's a moot point now because, I mean, they're not going. So there you go. The door is opened up to other players like SHL athletes and KHL athletes and guys all over the world to compete in the tournament. But for Simon Edvinsson to cite the quarantine rules as somewhat of an issue, but mostly just his focus on the other parts of his hockey career, I respect it. You know, of course, you want to see Edvinsson and other prospects in the Red Wing system tearing up the international scene and doing whatever it is they can to cement themselves in hockey lore history. But for Simon Edvinsson, the guy's got a long, storied career to go, and it wouldn't surprise me if he ends up making 2 or 3 Olympic teams in the next decade and a bit from here on out. Is that realistic? 2 or 3 Olympic teams? I mean, he's 18 right now. Let's say at most he makes himself 3 more Olympic teams. That means that he would have to have 12 more years, so could he make an Olympic team at 30? Yeah, he probably could if he pans out the way that he could. Maybe even 4 Olympic teams, depending on how good he is when he's like 34 or whatever it is. So Yeah, talk to me in the comments. What do you think about Simon Edvinsson, Red Wings prospect and top defenseman in the system beyond the names that are already in the AHL and on the regular roster? He's not going to the Olympics in the same manner that Moritz Seider said that he wasn't going to the World Juniors a year ago. Seider last year wanted to focus on his season in Regla, and he said that playing against younger kids, U20 guys, wasn't really going to be as good for his development than playing against men at the SHL level. Edvinsson, while not citing the exact same reasoning, is pretty much saying, yeah, I want to go out there and focus on my Frolunda team and focus on the World Juniors should there be a tournament in the summer. So Olympics, sorry, it's not really on my radar. And you know what? I get it. Let me know in the comments all your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.